Hey everyone, this is Paul. Real quick, I wanted to send a quick message of congratulations to all the new students that we just admitted. If you've been admitted, go to viterbiadmission.usc.edu/admit and come visit campus because we want to see you. We want to show you everything that we've got. We have 5 different programs on campus called Explore USC, plus a weekend program, plus programs going on around the country and around the world. viterbiadmission.usc.edu/admit or sign up through your admission portal. We can't wait to see you. Again, congratulations. And now let's jump into the podcast. This is Viterbi Voices.
Coming to you from the University of Southern California, Viterbi School of Engineering.
We're here to give you the inside scoop on research, classes, student life, and so much more.
All of these shared by students, faculty, alumni, and other members of the USC community.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Viterbi Voices. As usual, I am one of your hosts. My name is Paul Ledesma, Executive Director of Undergraduate Admission here at the USC Viterbi School of Engineering.
Awesome, Paul. Hey, everybody. I'm your other co-host. My name is Maya. I'm a current senior studying Industrial and Systems Engineering here at Viterbi.
So, Maya, what do we got going on this week? I know that we have a really special conversation, and can you let the listeners know what they're about to be jumping into here?
Yes. So this is Taylor's first episode on the podcast, which is awesome. Taylor is somebody that I work with, somebody that I definitely look up to, and she put together this awesome panel of Black students at Viterbi, and they talk about their experience and pretty much like what it's like to be a Black student at Viterbi, which I know, Paul, you were saying is like a pretty common question that we get asked. So I personally really enjoyed the conversation that she brought to us. They honestly, a lot of their pieces of advice really, I think, resonated with me and would with anybody. I'll talk about that on the back end of the podcast, but it was like a really nice glimpse into their lives, what they're involved in, and what they think about.
Yeah, we should relay the hellos from Taylor. She was trying to join us here for this introduction, but for some reason just had some technical difficulties, and unfortunately we had to go ahead and record this introduction without her because she was unavailable. But Taylor wanted to make sure and say hello to each of you. You'll hear her in just a few seconds. But Taylor wanted to curate this conversation because, yes, definitely people of all types come in kind of wondering a little bit about their identity and wanting to go to a place where they can find people such as themselves and help to, share that experience. And that is no different for our Black students. And I think that this is a really, really great conversation. So I hope that you will find it interesting. Have a listen. We're going to hand it right over to Taylor, and then we will join you on the back end for some other chit chat and updates.
All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Viterbi Voices podcast. You have a new guest host today, me. My name is Taylor Hill Miles. I am a junior studying computer science and business administration. And today we'll be discussing with 4 of my friends about what it means to be a Black student in engineering here at USC. Now, before we dive into the panel, let me go ahead and let all the panelists introduce themselves.
I guess I'll go first. My name is Carlton Akins. I'm a freshman here at USC studying computer science and business, and a minor in connected devices and making. And I'm from Ashburn, Virginia.
I'll go next. My name is Cecil Franklin. I'm a senior at USC. I'm doing my bachelor's and master's at the same time, bachelor in mechanical engineering and then master's in astronautical.
And I'm Eliana Emanuel. I'm a sophomore studying industrial and systems engineering, and I'm from the Los Angeles area.
Hey y'all, my name is Rachel Amir Chapman. I am a senior at USC. I'm studying biomedical engineering and also doing my PDP in medical device and diagnostic engineering. And I'm from Redwood City, California.
Yeah, great. So thank you guys for that introduction. And this is really an exciting group of people. So I can't wait for you all to learn more about them and what they do on campus. Now, before we get into that, we are coming out of spring break. So I'm curious, what did you guys do over the past week? And how did you kind of relax and use that time to rejuvenate yourself for the rest of the semester?
As for me, I went back home to Virginia for my spring break, and it was kind of just like spending like quality time with my family. Just doing a couple of chores, errands around the house, kind of regular stuff. I was hoping I'd be able to lock in and do a lot of work over the break, but like unfortunately that just did not happen, did not go my way. So now I'm back here on campus. I have like a ton of work to do, but yeah, I think it was a pretty good, chill, relaxing, and rejuvenating spring break.
Yeah, I feel like that's looking how it should be, at least in my opinion, because the work will always be there, but the rest won't.
Right, right.
Yeah, and then I also on the same vein, I went to South Carolina, which is not where I'm from. I'm from Texas, but my grandma's in South Carolina, so we went and visited her. Real mild family vacation. I didn't do anything crazy, not this year, so.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, I also didn't really do anything major, but I went home to spend some time with my family, visited everyone, and I definitely tried to use this week as a catch-up week for all of my work.
Same here. I planned to use this week as a catch-up week, but similar to Carlton, it just did not get done. But I was able to re-energize myself and rejuvenate and get ready for the week.
Yeah, no, really good points. And like seeing family is honestly so important and being able to take that time to rest. So I'm glad you guys were able to find that over your breaks. My break was a little bit different. I did travel. I was in San Francisco for a bit, and then I did see my parents, and we went on a trip to Japan. But that's a story for another day. It was lots of fun though. And actually slept a lot despite moving all around. So it was a good time. And like I said, rest and family was the way to go.
How long were you?
Oh, how long was I in Japan? Not long enough. I was only there for 4 days.
That's good though. Huh.
Yeah, no, but the food was good. It has clean air. It's a clean place, period. Like I came back to Los Angeles and I was like, wow, we need to do better. But it was really good. So we can go ahead and get into the panel. So I just have some questions prepared, just kind of see how you guys' experience been. So the first thing I wanted to ask was, why did you all choose USC?
At least for me, at first I didn't really want to like go here. I'm not gonna lie. Well, I didn't really like know I wanted to come to USC at first. But it was kind of like I applied like a week before the regular decision deadline, and I just was like looking up like other schools in California that I should apply to, and I came across USC, and I saw like kind of what Viterbi has to offer, and I was just kind of researching like what other clubs, other organizations they have, and it just seemed like it kind of fit for me. And also wanted a school that had like another strong like business presence too, because I've always been interested in like tech startups and tech culture as well. And USC had like a lot of resources for that. So that was kind of like the main proponent for me to apply.
Yeah, that makes sense. What have you found that to be true? Like, have you been taking advantage of the tech entrepreneurship resources and been able to merge your interests here?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I participated in Lava Lab last semester, and it was really fun. And I'm currently still working.
Could you tell us what Lava Lab is?
Yeah, so Lava Lab is USC's like startup incubator club, and you're essentially put in this semesterly cohort of 28 people made up of 14 developers, 7 product managers, and 7 designers. And you're all split into teams of 4. And those teams of 4 include 2 developers, 1 product manager, and 1 designer. And you work together to create a startup company for this thing called Demo Night, which happens towards like the end of the semester, where you essentially pitch your product and what you developed throughout the whole cohort. And during that cohort, you're put through this like startup mentorship training program, and they teach you all the fundamentals about creating a tech start, or not just a tech startup, but like a startup in general, the key proponents of like business as well, how to scale your product and whatnot. And I definitely learned lots of really valuable like things throughout, not just the training that they had, but as well as just what it's like working with a team of other people as well. So I had a lot of fun doing it. They had a couple other like fun activities outside of just developing a startup, like a retreat, a bonfire, and an end of semester like party as well. So it was a great like networking opportunities as well.
Yeah, no, that sounds amazing. And it's good to see that like what you saw in USC and what you wanted to do, and it's been something you've been able to accomplish, especially you're only a freshman, correct?
Yeah, I'm only a freshman. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. What about the rest of you all? Do any of you guys want to share about why you chose USC?
Yeah, so I chose USC for several reasons. The first one was that, as I mentioned before, I'm from Texas. I knew I wanted to go west. I didn't know how far west, but I knew I wanted to go west. And I knew I wanted to, at the time, work in space, like the new kind of private space industry that's been blooming in the US. And so one day I was on YouTube and I saw the video of the USC RPL organization and how they had made this really great documentary on how they had launched like the first student-built rocket past the Kármán line, which is the recognized boundary to space. And I was like, I got to apply. And so I applied, like November of 2019 or something like that. And um, when the admissions came out, I had gotten into the school and they also had given me a scholarship too. And I was like, that's it. I'm going to LA. And part of it was also just like, you want to leave, you want to get as far from home as possible, especially when you're 17 years old and you think you're invincible. So that was another aspect. But yeah, I'm really, really happy that I came out here.
Yeah, that's really good. Although I gotta hear, what's wrong with the East Coast? Like you were so set on the
Yeah,
West. I
I'm not an
mean,
East Coast guy. My dad's from there, so I grew up, going back and forth out there. But I also always came out west to like Washington, and I love the Pacific Northwest. I think it's the best part of the United States. So yeah, I'm not an East Coast person. Sorry, Taylor.
debatable, but I'll leave you with that opinion for now.
I mean, the East Coast isn't like that bad. Like I wouldn't, like it's pretty
Bad, but
nice,
not as good as California. You can't get better than California.
The
So.
food,
I think
the
I think the
culture,
weather is a
the
lot better,
weather.
for sure. It's a lot better for sure.
Okay, but the weather down here isn't bad. Like I'd say in LA, it's pretty mild, warm. Like recently we've had a lot of rain, but the Pacific Northwest,
Mm.
outside of summer, it's like a pool. Like,
The best.
It's actually extremely sunny and raining right now. It's so weird. I'm looking at my window right now. It's crazy.
wait, where are you?
Yeah, it is raining.
I'm in my apartment. It's literally raining, but like sunny right now, like as we speak.
Yeah, my roommate
Yeah, I'm
just
looking outside. Yeah,
had
it
its
is kind of
thundering.
weird.
Well, in case you guys aren't prepared, LA weather will change on you very quickly.
Yeah.
So we could go ahead into the next question, which is describe a typical day in your life as a student.
I guess I can go and do this one, but usually I I try to wake up at the same time every day, so like 8 or 9 o'clock. I try to make sure I try to like when I sign up for my classes, make sure I didn't have like any 8 a.m.s because there's no way I could wake up before 8 o'clock. That's just not gonna happen. But I usually try to wake up then, do my daily routine, go to my classes for the day. And then in between classes, I'll always just like go to dining halls or whatnot, get food or eat something or eat whatever's like in my fridge. And then after all my classes are done, kind of that's the time to either lock in on my work or do any other like meetings or whatnot I have for the day, which typically is around like 5 o'clock. I'm kind of done with all of my classes usually. And then I'll, just go to clubs, do other meetings that I have, or just hang out with some friends. And then after that, probably at like 9 or 10, I'll just go back to my room and do more homework for the rest of the night.
Yeah, I'd say I have a pretty similar schedule. Just wake up pretty early in the morning. It definitely varies by semester. I unfortunately used to have 8 a.m. So, it used to be a cool 6:30 a.m. wake up. Thankfully, this semester, my earliest start is 11. So I'm kind of chilling. So I guess I'll speak more like recently, but I'll wake up around like 9 or so and head to classes. Classes will end usually around like 5. I'll get to see friends throughout the day, get lunch with people. And then I'll basically have meetings through the rest of the night until around like 10 or so. And then just like he said, head back home, do some homework. And that's my day. Then I'll be doing homework for a good few hours, honestly. But typically I will do homework with my friends because I've built a very strong support system within my major. They've become some of my best friends. So it's work, but it's fun at the same time.
Yeah, that's really good. Like having friends and that support system is going to be crucial to getting you through, even to those 8 a.m.s that I unfortunately do have. I have a friend that I call every morning and we're like, "Are you awake? Are we awake? Like, let's get to class." Did anyone
Right.
else want to share?
You
Oh, sorry.
decide if you want to go together. It's like, are we going today?
Are we going today? That's the question. Anyone else want to share about the day, a typical day in your life?
Yeah, I would agree pretty much with like the general structure. I think one of the biggest things like from freshman year to sophomore year adjusting has been making food for myself. Because yeah, life was just so convenient when you could just go get food. You don't have to wash the dishes. Now it's like the sink is piling up. I can't make eggs without washing the pan that someone else like it's just like so equating like putting that in, definitely have had to skip meals to make it to some classes. So making food here and there. I would just maybe like also going to the gym here and there, like on my breaks. And sometimes like when there's a break in between classes and you don't want to go home, my day would probably look like going to the CBCSA. And so we're about to change the name, and I should definitely know the full name out loud, but
The Center
yeah.
for Black Student Cultural Affairs.
That one. Yep. So you can always count on seeing someone you know in that room. It's in the student union. And so definitely, I mean, the plan is always to try and do some work there, but the work just never gets done in that room. So yeah, really just catching up with whoever's in there, waiting for the next class.
No, real meal prep will save your life, or like just getting stuff that can easily be eaten on the go, like granola bars and stuff like that. Like that adjustment sophomore year, it's crazy. So speaking of the CBCSA, where have you all been able to find community on campus, or how has that search for community been going? The silence is crazy.
Because I do be in there all the time. I do be in there all the time.
Yeah. I think kind of on Eliana's point and going a little bit back to the last question of like, what does your typical day look like? I think one of the things you're gonna find pretty quickly that you don't think you're gonna find as like an underclassman is like sort of just a place to linger. And usually this coincides with like a place that you like work. So like a lab you work in, a design team space, the maker space, whatever. You kind of just find a place to linger like your second year of campus. And I think it's real important to be conscious of where you do that. So like I linger a lot in two places. I linger in Beagler, which is where all the Mech Ops and senior design team stuff is done. One, because I have a project going on there. So I find a lot of community with all the people that are, the machine shop machinists and the instructors that live there and everybody who streams out. You get real familiar with people. And so I find a lot of community there. And I also get a lot of work done there. But I also go to like CED and like kind of study lounge places. So I think, CED is probably like my number two spot on that list is I go hang out with Tim. You see a lot of the same faces and you start to find community in that sense. So
What is CED, by the way?
the Center for Engineering Diversity in RTH on the second floor.
I'm proud you know what the name is. Come on.
I'm a regular.
For real.
Yeah, I think
then-
Seed is Seed is a pretty cool place as well. Like, because like I feel like I've met like a couple like cool people from over there, and it's like nice to see people from like different backgrounds in engineering, over there, and just like be able to talk and have like regular conversations with them. On top of that, like, hear me out. I think Sal is like a cool place to like get some work done too.
What is wrong with you?
I think it is a great place to get work done because there's people who are just way better than me at, like 104 or like, CS 104, like data structures. And I'll just be working on something. I'll be like, look to my side, I'm like, hey, do you like happen to know like how to do this? And they're like, oh yeah, blah blah blah. And they explain it to me like so on perfectly, and I'm just like, knocking out these assignments left and right, and then I can help all of my other friends who are like, still doing the homework assignments. Like, hey, like this person explained this and that to me, because like in Sal, there's just the CS office hours go on there. There's a lot of people who are it's basically the CS community here at SC is like always up in there. So, it's always good resource like go get help from. And also it's not really as if you go like later on in the day, it's just not really as cluttered. It's usually pretty quiet and like more quiet than like or like less people there than like the library. So it's like really easy just to get like a quick little study spot and just like do work and get stuff done there.
I guess that's a valid opinion because it is a good study spot and it's where all the office hours happen. But at the same time, I'm glad to not go there anymore. I'm free.
We're talking about where we find community, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that was definitely an interesting take. But I love that for you. I love that for you.
Bro.
I was gonna say I definitely find community with the orgs that I'm in. So first, like as an Eritrean, I definitely find community with the East African Student Association. And so all of our meetings, I feel like we're just like really close as a community. And it's just always nice to see the people who you're in orgs in just like out on campus, going to your classes, wherever you're at. It's just nice to connect that. And then I would also say, as Black engineers, the National Society of Black Engineers. And so definitely love that Monday night every week, that free dinner. And of course, like the resources that come with it, like the free dinner on like number one, that's the best. I'm just like, but the free dinner is definitely like a great component. But yeah, and then the resources that come with it and just everyone supporting each other, whether that's with like curriculum, like whatever past exams you have, like that's just no one is trying to gatekeep any resources. So I definitely find community there. And then definitely within my sorority, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. So, that's my special right there, Rachel Amir. So yeah, I definitely find community with all my sisters.
Well, now I got nothing to say. But if we were still talking about like the academic sense, I actually would say office hours, especially that day before an assignment is due, you'll find everyone in there. And it's like there's no barrier to who you'll be able to talk to and the type of phone numbers that you'll be able to get, because it's like, hey, like let's work on this later, or the type of people you'll be able to talk to because of that fact that everyone is just stressed. And I would say that something that is really great about USC, which I don't hear about other universities, is the sense of collaboration. Like people are just like always down to collaborate and always down to help each other. But at other universities, like I've heard, it's like very cutthroat over there. Like it's really every man for themselves. So that's speaking more to the academic sense. But then, of course, all of my organizations, I really have a lot of love for, just like Eliana said, NSBE, also the National Pan-Atlantic Council. And then as well, one of the orgs that I'm in is called Shift SC. And that's huge in terms of community for me as well. So yeah, our the organizations that I'm in, I would say that's like the biggest place where I'm able to find community.
Got it. And Shift SC isn't just something you're in. Correct me if I'm wrong, you founded that org, did you not?
Did a few things.
Mm-hmm.
But I am a founding member, yes.
Oh, no, that's amazing. And then do you want to tell us a little bit about what Shift SC is?
Yes, absolutely. So Shift SC is an ethical technology organization that was started just a few years ago. And basically, the whole point of it is to look at the social responsibility within the technology that we create. So as engineers, we are trained to get a good grade, to create this perfect technology, to, create this either like a medical device or something for aerospace or mechanical, just something that works and can be put into society. And that's kind of where we're at right now. But the point of Shift SC is to make sure that the technology we create, we're actually caring about the ethics of it and the social implications. Who is it going to? Who is it affecting? Is there accessibility? Is everyone able to get this product? Is it going to treat, all patients fairly? All these types of things that we're not exactly trained to think about or trained to even discuss ever, really. It's just, can you create this thing and can it be functioning well, basically, is our engineering curriculum so far. And so we're working to change that. So we have a few different initiatives, but specifically for me, since I'm biomedical engineering, my favorite is the health initiative. And we look at all these types of corruptions in the medical field that goes completely overlooked.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And it's been so cool watching people I know find spaces where your special interest or something that you want to do, maybe you haven't found that community entirely, you can create it here too. You can create that club, create that lab. I know that a friend is creating the NAACP club here on campus. Cecil, you started your lab as well, correct me if I'm wrong? The field
Yeah,
robotics lab?
yeah. A couple, what was it, 3 semesters ago now, I founded a new design team called Field Robotics Lab, where the whole purpose was to allow undergraduates experience and exposure to like space-oriented robotics by basically embarking on this whole mission to build a what's sort of like a college
Charge
version.
me, I am dying, plug me and now.
I'm so sorry. Can you say that again?
That's fine. Director cut.
Yeah, director cut. Cecil,
Yeah.
you founded the Field Robotics Lab.
Yeah. I founded it, I think, like 3 semesters ago. And it's effectively like an organization that's aimed to allow undergraduates to get some like hands-on experience in robotics, which is sort of hard to do here without, joining like a PhD level lab or um, undertaking some really complex projects. So the whole goal was to basically participate in this international competition called URC, the University Rover Challenge, where everybody makes what's essentially an analog of the Mars rover, like the Curiosity rover or something like that, or what you can make in a college makerspace version of that, and then take it out to the desert in Utah to make it compete and complete a variety of tasks like teleoperation, um, manipulating objects, like long distance terrain navigation, sort of stuff like that. And so I founded that, and slowly every semester we've been growing. I think I managed to raise now about $8,000 towards like capital costs, and we've been buying equipment, we've been designing stuff. So it's been a little bit of a slow turn, but it's been a lot. It's been a real fun ride, kind of starting that. And USC is a really great environment of design teams, and there's a lot of overlap between the people who are in, say RPL or ADT, and there's a lot of cross collaboration and communication, and a lot of experienced people who run these teams that are some of my closest friends, and I can rely on them for advice and help and expertise and guidance, and also snag some of their members every now and then. So it's been a fun journey.
Yeah, that's really exciting to hear. Like, congrats to that. Congrats to you, Rachel Amir. Like, it's so inspiring seeing you guys start these things. I've been watching them grow over the past couple of years. So kudos to you all. Speaking of involvements, by the way, actually, before we get to the next thing, I do have a quick question though. So on the topic of starting new clubs and me mentioning the NAACP, who knows what the NAACP stands for?
National Association.
Now, why did you start talking if you didn't know?
Isn't it like National
It's
Association
national,
for the Advancement of Colored People?
yeah.
All right, I'm proud of you all. I was having this conversation with my friend. Literally, unmuted himself for no reason. I had this conversation with my friends, and like 5 of them didn't know. So I had to do a pulse check, make sure we inform the audience. But those involvements all sound amazing. And so, in the greater scope of Viterbi, what would you guys say is one thing that Viterbi is doing well to promote their DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts? And then what is one area where they can improve?
I can start with one area that they've been doing a good job. I know, for example, when I was coming in as a freshman, I was in the what was it called? VSI? I feel like Taylor,
VSI.
an RA for it, right? Yeah. So I did VSI, and so it wasn't like specifically like for Black students only, but it was for underrepresented students. And so that was great. And so I did that coming into my freshman year, and I was able to build community that way. Coming in, I already knew some people who were Black in Viterbi, and that was really great because that was definitely a little bit of a fear of mine that I would feel isolated in that way. And then they definitely have some initiatives to keep that community going as well. So I know that there's like an annual lunch with CED, and they make sure to try to like bring the people back as like a little reunion. But apart from that, there's a lot of different events that you can go to as well through CED, and I appreciate that they do that for sure.
Yeah, I agree. VSI was definitely pivotal to my experience, even though I had it online due to the pandemic. So, great time.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure USC, like, I think one thing they do well is like admissions. They admit pretty closely to like what the actual population is. So whereas a lot of colleges kind of fall short of that. So I think, one thing that I remember learning when I first came to the school all those decades ago was like that this school has like a 50-50 gender parity just about, which is like pretty unheard of, especially from where I come from in Texas. It's a very male dominated thing. And also just like the demographic makeup is like super close to what the actual US population is too. Which I find, or at least on the minority front. So I find that like, I think USC does a really good job at that.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then would you guys say that there are any areas that USC can improve, or Viterbi specifically? If not, I can start off with one that I have in mind. Regarding improvement, I think that there could be greater effort in diverse faculty. While there's definitely a lot of effort in the admission side and, seeing people around you that look like you can usually find a community one way or another. It's not the same as the faculty. And so I believe there's only 5 or 6 Black professors, and this isn't all of Viterbi, including undergraduate and graduate students. And I personally haven't had one yet. So that's just something to be in the know about.
Yeah, that's a great point. So I'm taking my first master's class this semester. And in the very beginning, I actually was in a different course, but my professor was a Black woman. Her name is wait, what is it? Something Finley. Oh, Stacy Finley.
Stacy Finley?
Yeah. Her name's Stacy Finley. And like, honestly, I wasn't really, a fan of the class, but her as a person, I was like, I literally almost stayed in that class strictly because I had a Black female professor. Like, I even told her that too. I was like, dang, I low-key want to stay because like you are such an inspiration to me. Like, I've never had a Black female professor in my entire life. And I can probably count the amount of Black professors I've had on my hand. I can't even think of one. Just off the top of my head. So that was like, it does sound dramatic, but that was actually like a moment for me. I was like, dang, I want to stay in this class, even though I probably wouldn't get the best of grades, even though I'm not super interested in the subject, simply because my professor is a Black female. I didn't, but I was so taken aback with the realization that that was my first, like maybe ever Black professor. So I see that point for sure.
Yeah, that's real. And it's so important that you touched on like even connecting with her personally, even if you didn't like the class. Because while like same, I haven't had a Black professor personally. I do know some of the grad student professors here, and like I go to their office, I hang out, and so it's nice that there's still that community, even if they personally haven't taught me. Anything else you guys want to share on that topic of areas of improvement?
Yeah, well, I feel like I might not know like too much because I've been here like too long anyway. But some statistics I was learning in my like organizational behavior class was that USC's like student body is relatively like diverse, I guess, and it's only like when they were saying it, they were saying like 23% of the student body is like Caucasian or white, 20% was Asian, 16% was like Hispanic, and then like 6% was Black, and then there was like 8% other, 27% like international students. So like in a sense, like are relatively diverse, not too many like like Black students here at the school. But like when they moved on to like the faculty, they were saying it was saying that I believe 63% of the faculty body is like white or Caucasian, 5% of the faculty. And this is not just limited to teachers, but like dining hall workers or others, or like 5% of them are Black. And then there was just pretty low numbers for all of the other, ethnicities out there, races out there. So I just think that USC could probably do as good of a job when it comes to being diverse in their faculty as they do with or at least try to do with their student body.
Yeah, totally agreed. Totally agreed. So now shifting gears a little bit, but thinking back to your first week on campus, I know for some of y'all that was a while ago, so we can do first year for the seniors. But thinking back to that time, what is one thing that you would have done differently to improve your student experience?
I think one thing I would have done differently, probably my earlier years of college, is I really think there's a lot of value in like getting in something early, whether that be a club, design team, et cetera, et cetera. And it doesn't have to be, you can still be involved in a billion different things as freshmen often are. But like having one thing that you just stick to for all 4 years, no matter what, you go to every meeting as much as you can, and you just put it on a real high spot in your priority list. And I think that pays dividends, even when it seems like it might not early on. Just showing up consistently to a place or a club is like super valuable. And I kind of wish I had done that, because I'm I'm a grass is greener kind of guy. So I tend to go to the new and shiny things, which is like, some of my organizations I've left from, and I sort of regret that in my last semester here. So I think if you're a freshman, the biggest thing is to just have commitment to one or two things, and you can also go sample everything else.
Yeah, I agree. For me, I was someone who like tried to join a lot of stuff early on, and then I was like, well, this is too much, retracted. I wish everything I joined, I gave it like one solid semester, or like a semester and a half maybe, to really see if I liked it before, after a week or two saying, oh, I'm not qualified, or like, oh, actually, I don't like it, let me back away. Because you don't never know how you can grow into something, or it can be something that looking back, it would have been really impactful.
I think I would say like my mindset or expectations of myself going in terms of like the comparison between high school and college. Yeah, I don't know who I thought I was. And I was just like doing it, like I just don't know what I was doing. Like, and then I think it's often talked about in terms of like the academic, like your grades and stuff, like expecting that. But I think it was more so like me just expecting to have so much time to do everything, but not realizing that like when we say like we have less class time in a day, that's supposed to be to do work, or that's supposed to be to go to some meetings. But like was mentioned, like giving more devoted time to fewer projects so that you can really see things through and really see you develop in certain things, and not just trying to have a bunch of different things with minimal involvement. And then I think also like knowing that there's so much time to do so many things, because I have yet, which is really insane, but I don't know what I did last year, but I've never been to a tailgate. I've never been to, like, there are certain things that like, I don't know what happened, but like I was always volunteering during one time, or like doing a meeting for one thing, which is really weird. I'm still confused. But yeah, so just definitely like knowing what college is meant for, which is like a fully rounded experience, which is what USC is perfect for. And so taking advantage of that. And I feel like professors echo the same things in my classes. So, yeah.
Carlton, is there anything you would have changed about your first week here?
At least for the most part now, not necessarily. I mean, I guess I actually know. You know what? I feel like I could have allocated my time a lot better. Like, I guess I didn't necessarily realize like how much kind of time there is in the day. And I'm not saying like a lot of days in my first semester, like I wasted my time, but I feel like I could have, like I had like a lot more other ambitions and goals that I was hoping to reach throughout my first semester, and I didn't necessarily reach them because I kept getting distracted. I was bogged down sometimes with like too much work from other things that I joined because I was really just trying to like take advantage of all these experiences, because it's like my first semester. And I don't necessarily regret that because then again, it's like it's your first semester. You're supposed to kind of like go out, get a feel for things, transition from high school in a sense. But I think now I take those lessons on into my next semester now, and things are just going on like a lot smoother. And hopefully, I can keep that up like for the rest of the semesters I'm here at school.
Yeah, and I would say that it probably goes hand in hand with something that I spoke a little bit about earlier, but just the fact that I don't have to compartmentalize these different areas of my life. So my first year, definitely first semester, I came in and we just had our first year online because of COVID. So I came in but I was still super, super, super like dead set on like academics and like just being in the books like all the time, all day. And so that's great, of course, like that's, what we're trained to do. That's what I was accustomed to, but it took me too long to realize that those things don't have to be distinct, that and like finding my community. And so my first semester, I wouldn't say that I made great efforts to find my community. And then closer to the end of the semester or second semester was when I was like, I can do both. Like I can still be studying all night, but at least I can be with friends and I can, every few hours go on boba runs, hit 7-Eleven, like, and that like completely transformed my experience. Because like not only was I getting the work done, but I'm also finding community. I'm building, friendships that I would say are lifelong now. And so that's been something that I've been very grateful to have made a change to.
Yeah. All of this so real. I definitely relate to everything you guys said and see myself in them, like from the time management. Man, I am a Google Calendar baddie. Oh, it's color coded, everything, every assignment.
Necessary.
Yeah, if it's not there, I don't know what's going on. Um, and even the intentional community too, because I think coming in freshman year also, I'm an extroverted person. So it was easy for me to, talk to people, make friends. Okay, cool, see you in class. But then actually maintaining those friendships beyond the semester that we had that commonality together, I realized took effort. I was like, oh, like let me actually get serious and make sure I was maintaining friendships and, just all the lessons that you learned going throughout your first year. So the last question I have for you all is, what are your future plans post-college?
Okay, yeah, I can go first because I think I'm pretty close to that point. So, right now I'm going to go work, directly after college for X amount of years. I'm going to go work in Pasadena at a company called Honeybee Robotics. They do space robotics stuff. So they're owned by Blue Origin, and they take a handful of contracts from like NASA or DARPA or Blue Origin itself, and they make different things and put them on the moon or Mars or whatever. So real exciting stuff. I'm super, super stoked to go there. I worked there last summer, and I had a great time. Uh, that will be on the near horizon, but in the far horizon, I think one day I would like to make my own or found my own startup. Hopefully, but somebody listening to this in like 5 or 10 years can be like, oh, like this is Cecil Franklin. I know him. He's the I don't
Period.
know, whatever. But post graduation it's a scary thing when you're nearing on it. But I don't think it'll be that bad. So
Yeah, I can. First of all, Cecil, I believe in you. Let's
like
say 5, let's say 3 years.
3 years,
You'll be there.
take it or leave it.
Exactly. But yeah, for me, so this semester, I'll be trying to do an internship and then it'll be like at a medical device company, just working on medical devices in R&D, hopefully. And then after that, I have 2 more semesters to complete my master's degree through the progressive degree program. And then after that, entering an R&D, which is research and development rotational program at one of these medical device companies. And so I have a top 3 that I'm gunning for. And shout out to Nesby. I will be going to the convention this week. And I have some on-site interviews for that lined up. So, crossing my fingers that it shakes out.
It will. I believe in it.
Thank you.
I believe as well, period. I was gonna say I'm a sophomore, but my plans for my last year, well, first I also want to do a PDP in health systems management because I want to apply IC to the optimization of healthcare. And so post-grad, I want to either be working in a hospital like healthcare administration, or with the government looking at like the health system of the city, if God wills it, of a country, like whatever, basically, opportunities arise.
Yeah, and I guess for me, like my, I guess absolute dream would be to own my own like tech startup or other software company, which I'm kind of in the process of doing now with my startup from Lava Lab. And I'm though I'm still a freshman, I'm pretty young, like I would love to just be able to work and create a startup and even like manage and maintain it throughout college and hopefully like create others. And if not, then I wouldn't mind like working in like big tech. Currently have like an internship lined up for this summer. So hopefully I can like progress that onward and turn that into like a full-time paying job. That internship's at Google, so pretty excited for it. And but hopefully, like I wouldn't mind like if I were to like finish college, work like a year or two in the corporate world and then try and like worm my way back into like, startup sector and potentially make a couple of these ideas I've been cooking up in, my notebook of ideas. So yeah, that's my plans for after college.
Yeah, no, that's all so amazing. I can't wait to see you guys chase all the success and more. Like it's all coming towards you and just keep working hard and you'll get to it. Is there any other lasting piece of advice or something you guys would like to share for prospective students who may be listening?
Get enough sleep and try to wake up early. It'll change your life, I'm telling you. But don't pull the all-nighters. It's not worth it. Drinking caffeine after 7, I sound like somebody's mom, but just don't do it. It's not worth it. Sleeping is so much better for you. You'll perform so much better, and try to wake up early, and your life will be like 10,000 times more optimized. But that's advice I struggle with personally. So I'm just kind of like reflecting back.
I'm gonna say, didn't I see you late night at CED just the other week? Yeah,
Definitely have pulled an all-nighter with him before, but I'll let him go.
That was a different man then. I was a different man then.
Different Cecil, for sure.
yeah. No, but that's real. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say and I know that like any incoming freshman who's even listening to this or freshman is literally gonna one ear out the other, but really do try to have more fun. Like sometimes I do think back to times when like, and this is such a stupid example, but I remember having like an assignment due, but someone was gonna sell me a ticket to that Drake 21 Savage concert for so cheap.
You should have gone.
No. Why did I say no? I don't even remember what the assignment was. I don't even think it was worth that many points, but I was just so locked in. I was like, you know what? No, like the grades. I don't know about all you pre-med students out there though. I wouldn't say to just say, you know what? Don't care about your grades. But especially now that I'm older and I have been, in the industry with internships and I've worked with these companies and spoken with people in these fields, GPA really isn't like as important as you think. And that is coming straight out of their mouths, which was honestly like heartbreaking for me to hear because I was like, dang, I sacrificed all these things. So my advice is to truly live life and get involved in as many things as possible. If you don't like it, then that's okay. But at least you tried it. And I promise you'll take away something from every single experience you go for.
Yes to everything you all said. Like the sleep one, you're a change woman. I'm a change woman, at least when I actually have my 7, 8 hours. And to the knowing your priorities too, like, yes, it's okay to have fun. You're going to be a student, you're going to be responsible every other day. Maybe that one assignment is gonna, I don't know, not turned in late, but like prioritize, like you said, you had a once in a lifetime opportunity. And instead, you don't even remember the assignment, you traded it off. But know yourself too and know what your goals are. Like being pre-med, certain other disciplines, yeah, they're going to require more effort when it comes to your GPA 1000%. But don't think it's an end all be all. Your experience, your job, there's so many other things that come out of college beyond just your GPA and your grades. It can be the network, the experiences, and everything that develops you into the person that you are. All right, I think that's the end of the podcast, guys. So I just want to thank you all so much for participating, joining in this conversation, hopefully giving some guiding light to incoming freshmen. Thank you all to anyone who's listening, and see you guys next time. Bye.
Thank you, Taylor.
Thank you for having me. Thanks.
All right, welcome back, everybody. I know I talked about this on the beginning of the podcast before you listened to this interview, but the advice that they gave really resonated with me, particularly the advice to get enough sleep. Like sleep is a superpower. Sleep is important. And I think that's a common misconception coming into college as an engineer. People assume that it's always like the grind and that you're going to be doing all-nighters all night. But I don't know. I've really carved out a very solid sleep schedule for myself, and I think it's really important to me. So it was nice to hear someone else giving that advice as well.
It's also at your guys' age, you kind of believe you can do it without sleep because it technically kind of works, every once in a while. But yeah, it doesn't work in the long run by any stretch of the imagination. And just being tired is not the problem. Being tired is a symptom of other things going on in your body and kind of your overall ability to do things successfully. So just keep that in mind. And then I will definitely jump in here with my age. Man, when I'm tired, nothing works. There's just nothing's working for me. I know like yesterday, there's no reason to really be that tired. But I was traveling this week and I got home and I literally couldn't, like, I could barely get through dinner. It was not a good evening for my family because I was basically out and I shouldn't be that way, but it happens as you go.
Yeah, your body has a mind of its own, it's like it's a sign that you need sleep and that you need to rest. Just don't question it. Rest. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Just rest. Maya, I know that we have only a minute or two here left in your time that you needed to be recording and get out of here. But any fun senior updates? Oh, I do want to call out something. I just saw something. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly.
And Peyton and Lucas and other assorted friends that I don't think I necessarily know somehow got on USC President Carol Folt's Instagram feed. Like
Yes.
all of you guys as seniors. What is the story? What happened?
I'll tell you the whole story. So I actually took the picture as well, technically. So that's another point of pride. But we were all taking our senior photos for graduation, like a big group of my friends and I, and Lucas and Peyton are some of my closest friends at USC. And we were just out on campus and we saw Carol Folt and we were like, oh my gosh, we're never going to get this opportunity again. So we asked her if she would take a picture with us. And then as soon as we got home, I real quick edited it. And one of my roommates actually emailed it to Carol Folt's office and was like, it was great to meet you, like just in case you want to use this as a promo or something. And now we're on Carol Folt's Instagram. So I feel like I can graduate, like checked all my boxes now.
I think so. So if you're not following President Folt on Instagram, she posts lots of different things, but definitely her most recent photo this week is of you all on your senior photos. What a great senior photo to have with the president.
It's a great memory for sure. Yeah. I'm always pro whenever some USC organization or person is using my photos for like promo or media. It makes me feel really cool.
Well, congratulations. It was very cool. I saw that yesterday when I was coming home, and I was like, well, that's definitely something to ask in the podcast. So I wanted to make sure we got that out of the way. Well, with that, thank you so much, everybody, for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode of Viterbi Voices for those tympanic membranes of yours to absorb.